Welcome to Wrestling is Hard, where every side is the dark side of the ring. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at hard4wrestling. Email questions and complaints at wrestlingishard@gmail.com. I'm Jim. Brandon, hello.
Hello, Jim. How are we?
How you doing? How's your stomach feeling?
I'm all right. It's not good, honestly. All of a sudden, I was just telling you before we got on, I think I finally hit the point here where acid reflux is going to be here to stay. So I'm learning the hard way. I keep forgetting, and then I eat a bunch of jalapeno peppers and on top of something, and then my chest is sizzling. So I got the Tums behind me here. Yeah.
I don't want to stop doing all the stuff that bothers me. I'm allergic.
Neither.
I have problems with everything. Beer gives me the sniffles now.
Really?
I love beer. I'm not going to stop drinking beer. Gives me an allergy attack.
You're just symptom managing 24/7 now.
Yeah. No, I don't. I just deal with it and then suck down water.
Yeah, it's going to be a hard road ahead. I can feel it coming. But besides that, took a bath on the UFC gambling Saturday night, and then just sat and watched the Super Bowl.
How'd the Super Bowl go for you?
Didn't touch that. Well, we were both in the same boxes, I think. I don't know if you got into that one at Bardo. Didn't win shit. So
I don't know if I won. I assume I
never have won one of those. So
I've won not the one at Bardo, but I've won them before. I won the Giants when they were 11-point dogs. I won that one.
Just did that thing where you lose a bunch of money gambling, wake up and just act like it didn't happen. Just eat a bunch of candy on the couch and try to forget about it. So that's my weekend.
Chris, how are you?
I'm well.
How was your weekend? How was the bowl game? Did you watch the bowl game?
Yeah, we had some friends over to watch the Super Bowl. And
friends, where are they?
Yeah, exactly. And kind of came to the decision that the only way I'm ever having friends over again is if I have 1,000 of them. And I don't really have to talk to any of them because I'm running around like a lunatic. So, because I don't feel like engaging with human beings anymore. That's pretty much it. Wrestling fans, I'll engage with them, but not humans.
It's a shame. It's the jobs that we have. We have to talk to people on a regular basis.
I just want to show it off. Yeah. So we watched Super Bowl, realized that, so, I made some snacks. I made some nachos. And when I want to make nachos, instead of using tortilla chips, I'll use Doritos.
And
Cool Ranch? No. I think it was spicy chili and then nacho cheese, the original. I just grabbed whatever 2 bags were right there. And Doritos are fucking disgusting. Not tasting, but what they do to you afterwards at 46 years old, just like you guys were saying. And just, can't do it. We both
palm oil? What's in it?
We both went to bed like now. I mean, luckily enough that like my diet, I don't want to go and say it's clean, but my diet is good enough to where I fuck up. But usually by the morning, I'm fine. I don't feel bloated. I don't feel gross. It's not this overabundance of shit being loaded into me to where it lasts for hours on end. But that night I was kind of like, we looked at each other and I picked up the Doritos. That was me burping, by the way. I picked up the Doritos. That was a nice Red Bull eruption. I picked up the Doritos. There was 2 things. Picked up the Doritos, looked at my wife, scraped them right in the trash.
Mm-hmm.
And then our friends brought a pie over. And I was throwing the trash like outside. And I looked at my wife and I looked at the pie and I opened the trash bag and I was like, right in there. There was a whole fucking pie, like one piece taken out of it. Throw that the fuck out too. So, but yeah. Super Bowl. That's all I got.
Excuse me.
Yeah, had a great night at work. Can I tell you about my night at work?
Yeah, go ahead.
Just
hopefully it's exciting.
Well, it was loaded with ejections and not ejections. Yelling at people.
Nice.
For smashing furniture against the ground. Banging stools against the ground.
Oh,
So it was like a little like grip on the back of the head, get yelled at, and they make the face like their mom just yelled at them. But while they're getting yelled at. I had a woman who I believe was so drunk a demon had possessed her and it was trying to escape as they were bringing her out the door. There's actually video of that I will be showing you guys when I see you in person.
Oh, let's go.
Video
Boy,
that
let's
one,
do
but
it.
I can't really do it here. And got to plunge a toilet that had a women's toilet, which is always more fun, that had Cocoa Pebbles floating in it as I was plunging. And I was plunging the toilet. Yeah, little poo-poo flakes doing a spin.
Oh.
I found out that the toilet needed plunging because I was downstairs getting ice and there was water coming from the ceiling. And I had to trace my steps as to what I was underneath. Like, oh, God. So I ran upstairs and I'm plunging the toilet in sync with the guy banging the stool. So needless to say, I'm like, when I'm fucking done this shit, you're fucking getting it.
Oh my God.
So that was and then I had to go back. I was there till like 4 o'clock in the morning. I had to go back at like 10 a.m. So I was like,
nice. Well done.
by the end of the Super Bowl,
You earned it.
I did.
I didn't watch the Super Bowl. Did I miss anything?
No. They did a halftime show that I'm sorry. They did a halftime show that all the people that everybody loves Snoop and Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
America loves them. When they were new, America was terrified of them.
Yes, of course.
But now they love them. They did a live, hip hop show in a 70,000 seat arena, which I can guarantee you from working concerts for so long, if you were there, you couldn't hear shit. But yeah, other than that, and a lot of really bad commercials that told me that if I didn't have cryptocurrency, I was old and dumb. So that was about it.
You can tell that cryptocurrency is real because they have to advertise during the Super Bowl to convince people to get involved. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, I think they've reached a precipice now where they've got to convince a new group of people that this is a good idea so that other people like me can dump their shit onto them.
Don't throw their lives into them again. This seems too good to be true. I'm down.
It was funny because one of the commercials, they ran a QR code bouncing across the screen like the old DVD thing that would go like this, right? So, of course, I pulled out my phone and scanned it. Well, apparently I found out the next day that 3/4 of the United States of America scanned that fucking thing and the website just went dead. Like, who's thinking behind this shit?
Well, they got everybody, I guess. I don't know. They crashed it, but I guess they got a couple of people, right?
It just reminds me of the year it was Tennessee and St. Louis, and everything was a .com, and none of the commercials really made any sense as to what they did.
Didn't we just talk about this last week?
Yeah, and then all those companies are gone. It's fucking hilarious.
We'll do it. We're gonna have
the world we live in.
Yeah, crypto bowl. All right, let's talk about wrestling. We had other stuff to talk about, but big news came out today. Isn't it? Cody Rhodes is leaving AEW. He has announced that he is not re-signing. There's all kinds of rumors out there. I don't know what's true. We'll probably never know because wrestling's weird. Supposedly he might be going back to WWE. I don't see why that's in anyone's. If you like Cody, I don't know why you'd be excited about that, except for that he's getting paid. I don't know. This is a kind of weird thing. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, it is a weird thing. I can't imagine how this went down except for Cody Rhodes trying to call Tony Khan's bluff in some negotiation, and it just devolved to this point because he's pretty much had his entire life invested in these networks now, where he's not just the VP on AEW. He's got that Rhodes to the Top. He hosts their whatever game shows on TBS, and I'm assuming he's going to lose all of that with this. So it's going to be pretty costly for him. The one thing I did this was Meltzer said this, and I don't know how true this is,
right?
But the one thing I did read that I thought was interesting was that he had no equity in the company, nor do any of those wrestlers that you think of as like the founders of AEW. It's 100% owned by the Khan. So that could be part of it. I mean, that's a massive fuck up by those four guys by not negotiating any ownership of this. So I'm not. Once I heard that, it was a little bit less surprising, but it probably going to end up costing Cody Rhodes some money here. This bluff.
Chris, thoughts?
Well, it's funny you say that. Like I didn't think about that at all with the other programs he's got. Like he's got that he's on that Go Big show, which I can probably almost guarantee he's going to get let go after this year.
I don't know.
I mean, it's like a 2 or 3. It's a filler show. I don't know who watches it, but it's like it looks like one of those shows where it's like, oh, you remember that, and then it disappears, and then 2-3 years down the road they bring it back to fill some more time slots. I don't know what to think about this. You know, I mean, my brain doesn't wrap around the inner workings of companies that well. I don't know who's who pays what their position, what they do. So, you know, it's a very strange thing. I find it hilarious how like what you said, Jim, that people are like, oh, it's WWE and they're going to be so much better, and watch out, it's going to come back, and it's going to I talked about, you know, this last, I talk about it a lot. Like that's this dude that's never moved the fucking needle for anybody everywhere. And it's also about Cody Rhodes.
Oh, you don't think Cody Rhodes was a big draw for AEW?
Oh, for AEW, yeah, but I mean, like, he's not going to go back to.
He's a bigger star. He's a bigger star since he left.
Right.
He went to AEW. He's a big wrestling star.
Right.
He goes back. I just don't see people leaving AEW to suddenly. I'm not suddenly going to care about WWE again. WWE stinks. It's hard to watch. Cody's not going to show up, and I'm going to be like, yeah, this is fucking exciting. I might watch his debut if I know that's on there. I'll watch it on YouTube. I don't see them. If WWE is to re-sign him, number one, the only reason he would do it, Cody, I think, is for money. Because if he did, like Brandon says, like possibly blew it with trying to bargain his way to a bigger contract than they were willing to pay him. If he goes to WWE and he gets paid, like what is WWE going to do with him? He's not suddenly shot to the top of he wasn't at the top of the title picture in AEW. He's not going to be at the top of the title picture in WWE. I just don't, it doesn't make sense for him to go to WWE as a choice. That's why I think Brandon's idea makes sense. Go ahead.
That show, WWE is over. They're not even trying to be interesting. They're packaged that thing up to sell. There's no like excitement of Cody Rhodes of proving back to WWE that he can be the top of the card guy. Like that, there's nothing there anymore. This was just a fuck up, and now he'll go take a check somewhere else. It's the only way. The only reason I think that is because nothing else would make sense.
Go ahead, Chris. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. Yeah, like he's probably got other things going on. Maybe why would you?
He still has the Monster Factory,
right?
So he's whatever that. What's his company? What's QT Marshall?
Nightmare
Factory. He's still got that. He's still running that.
But it just seems like
he's got.
It's just very. I mean, like, I mean, we just assume it's just like he's got enough money. He's on TV,
right?
You know, I mean, and just because he didn't re-sign with AEW doesn't mean that he's not going to re-sign with AEW 4 years from now if they're still around, or with somebody else at some point. Like maybe he's just done for right now. It's funny to me how it's like, oh, he didn't sign with AEW. He must be going back to WWE.
It just doesn't make sense.
And AEW is going to be off the air because they're losing people.
Oh boy.
And it's just like,
the internet's amazing right now.
Well, you know, the funny thing is, because you were showing me stuff from that today, it's like the funny thing about that is they automatically, people can't get their heads out of their asses about WCW and WWE. And they just assume that, you know, like, you know, if AEW started like kind of getting in a position in which they're losing people or whatever, TBS or Time Warner could dump them as a program, but they can't close the business. They don't own it. Right? So if somebody dumped AEW, right? And first of all, like just say hypothetically, if that were to happen, they're not getting dumped. They're going from TBS. They're getting shuffled to True TV. And they're going to bounce off of every single one of their networks until they just finally go enough. And then somebody else will pick it up.
Right.
It's just like, but people are automatically, people will. Paramount, that is now. Spike has been around for a while. I don't know when Spike was around, but it's like, and they could follow it up with it could follow up Yellowstone on fucking Spike. That fucking piece of shit.
They end up on Hulu every week.
Oh God, yeah. So I just think it's funny how it's like, ooh, Cody Rhodes is leaving. This multi-billion-dollar corporation that we support rabidly, and we want them to succeed, even though they give us nothing in return except taking our money and wasting our time. We want them to win.
Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, I already brought this up, but I'll bring it up again just because I think it's worth, you know, noting in more detail how badly those four guys screwed up. Taking the excitement from that, what was it, All In or All Out, was ever their first pay-per-view?
All In.
Getting the financial backing, setting it up, bringing all the guys in, putting butts in the seats, and then somehow negotiating 0% ownership of anything that they do for years to come. So I'm assuming if this, again, this is hypothetical, but this is just how these things go. Whatever Tony Khan's dad's name is that I'm blanking on is like probably Shad Khan is probably looking at the cash that they're losing from this right now and being like, hey man, we need to, start to figure this out. Cody Rhodes has no leverage. He's just a wrestler on the show, just like anybody else. But he rightfully should have gotten a lot more of that company and probably tried to work for it. And Tony's got his dad breathing down his back saying, hey, I can't keep handing out whatever you guys asked for. And he got rolled on. That's how I think this went.
So let's think. What did Cody accomplish while he was there? He solved racism. Remember that time he solved racism? That was amazing.
He got a neck tattoo, right?
He did get the neck tattoo. He smashed Triple H's. He smashed Triple H's throne. Yeah, Chris.
Can we reverse back? Because I think that in this time, in this age that we live in, I think we should elaborate on his solving racism. And by I mean we should elaborate on it. I have no idea. I forget what you're talking about. So
he did a promo where he talked about his baby girl and how
that's right. Yeah.
His wife.
I'm not racist. I'm married to a black woman.
Right.
No, you're not. I don't know about.
No, he solved it. That's it.
I don't know about him.
It's done.
I date black girls.
Is that Cody Rhodes?
That's every racist that says racist shit and tries to own it because they, have had sex with a black woman once in their life.
That's because he was gonna beat up the British guy.
Yes. I
forgot because he's the American. Yeah.
I forgot how it worked into it because that was
a go. This isn't about race. This is about America.
That's what's funny. That's what's funny here, though. Think about it. He's done nothing of interest. Actually, most of it was pretty fucking painful. The only thing he did of interest was keep playing babyface while everybody fucking hated him, and then left. Like they didn't even finish that. That didn't even finish.
Yeah,
right.
Brandi Rhodes was getting into a feud with
Paige VanZant.
We had to sit there and watch those fucking promos for like 3 weeks, and
that Brandi Rhodes one was like
I'm a black.
Like
bitch
I
one.
watched. I just watched with my hands over my face.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So there you go. R.I.P. Cody Rhodes.
AEW doing well.
Hoping he does well. I hope they get paid. Reality TV, whatever. But if they go to WWE, there's no way. I mean, I just won't. I'll see you in a couple more years when you come back to AEW, I guess. Okay, Chris.
He goes to WWE. He is fucking Stardust within the year. And he's going to put that suit on with a big fucking smile on his face and realize I never should have stopped cashing these fucking checks.
Yep.
Because no matter where, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Chris.
No. I'm going to rehash shit. Go ahead, Brandon.
What was I going to say? I'm fucking blanking. Oh, it's also funny how it's so unprofessional for any television program to have like an ongoing plot line and then without addressing it, just bail. Any other it's happened. We're used to it in wrestling now. WWE does that frequently. If that happens on any other TV show, it's like it happened
on The Sopranos.
I was about to say,
give a shit.
No.
Greatest show ever.
Wait a minute.
Sopranos, real bad.
But which one are we talking about on The Sopranos?
Russian one.
I was about to bring up the same thing, but that was always the knock on it. Everybody bitches about the Russian guy never coming back.
Yeah.
It's trash. Even Sopranos is good, whatever. But that's a trash thing to do. And it was a WWE thing. We're like, whatever, they're a mess. They don't care. The fact that Tony Khan, it was the first time this comes up, botched it to that extent, cracks me up. It's just like none of these people even know what they're doing 2 days from now with their lives.
Right.
And they're on TV.
Tony Khan just tweeted. There it goes. Cody Rhodes wasn't that good anyway. That's why they didn't re-sign him. Watch Dynamite tomorrow. There you go.
Here it goes.
He big swolled him.
Yeah, there we
go. Any final thoughts on Cody? Brandon?
Yeah, man. I think he fucked up pretty bad here. I'm assuming he's losing all of his TV. Sorry.
Yeah. I would assume that he's anything that was filmed.
On.
I don't think Rhodes to the Top was still going on, right? It's season finale.
So
that was it.
again, this is like, I forget if this was Fightful or Meltzer or somebody. Again, they said renewed for season 2, now not happening because of this.
Interesting. This
Well-
is strange. Go ahead.
Well, hold on though. I mean, I understand why it's not happening. It's not because the majority of the show was based on the fact that they were built, quote unquote, building this wrestling company. If you're not
Right.
fucking there, bye. Especially when now we have to go get the rights for other shit. Fuck
How much
this.
money
Nobody's
was he
watching it
asking
anyway.
Jesus. I don't know. We need more details for me to. I don't know. He lost all his properties, unless he has some huge plan on the horizon that we'll find out about. And it's not. How much money could WWE pay him? What's the highest paid guy on WWE? Roman Reigns? How much do you think he makes? Do we know?
I have no idea. They don't really release that. Well, it's all public now, so they probably do.
There you go. How much does Roman Reigns make? Roman Reigns, this is according to Sports Keto, whatever the fuck that is. Roman Reigns is one of the highest paid athletes in WWE. He earns an annual salary of approximately $1.2 million and above. There you go.
Yeah.
You think that fucking Cody Rhodes is getting $1 million a year to go work for WWE? Maybe.
So I just found on Sports Skeeta told me the number one was Brock Lesnar, who makes
Yeah, I don't know what
$12
the
million.
date is on these.
Yeah, this was from November 7th of 2021.
I got December 17th. These guys don't know what
They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Douches.
What is this First Sports? Sports spelled with a Z. What are these companies? Why do these pop to the top of the list?
Because nobody else out there is willing to even talk about this horse shit.
Cover it. They don't care. I don't know. It's fucking bizarre. I guess we'll find out more information.
That just
Don't
hit
rely
me
on
today,
Meltzer.
though, as like that's how all this is going on, is because Shad's looking down. He's like, my fucking kid somehow got all these guys to work for this company, and nobody owns any of it. We get 100% of everything that happens. These are just guys.
This is the most brilliant move I've ever heard.
So hold on, maybe that you just may have made a point. Maybe part of his maybe he was asking for part ownership of his of his property on the show.
He had to have, because
And they were like, yeah, no.
Without like divulging too much about what I do, that's standard practice. And I guarantee you that as soon as that unfolded, he had plenty of people in his ear going, they fucked you. You should have asked for that. You should go back. And next time you get to the table with them, you got to demand that. And he probably was like, yeah, I am getting screwed. And came back all hot. And Tony's like, sorry, I don't need you. You're getting booed every time you come out anyway.
Yeah.
They can cut QT too.
Well, I mean, but don't be surprised now that all the other guys that came in the beginning, like the Young Bucks, when their contracts are up, they ask for it too, and Tony Khan tells them, get the fuck out of here. That could happen.
Well, he had to set the tone, right? So if it was 1, it's 4, and all of a sudden now
Yep.
you're giving up 10% of that thing. So he's like, just
Nope.
screw it.
Don't even ask.
That's what happened.
We don't know.
You were a handful of wrestlers, some of which were Kenny Omega, who is huge, but not in the United States, not on television in the United States, I should say, and a bunch of wrestling, basically 2 indie tag team guys and an ex-WWE guy. And you came in there with a company that's owned, the father of the owner of the company is a multi-billionaire.
Mm-hmm.
And it was probably been cutting people's fucking throats, business-wise, his entire fucking life.
Tire City? What the fuck's this company?
And you're fucking, yeah. And you
made like brake pads for Toyota or something.
Yeah, you were like, a little kid, a baby getting into a boxing match with fucking whoever, professional boxer, Anthony Ogogo.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, you're walking
you guys about this during the week. Sorry, it's like you look under the hood at AEW, and it's like the pizza place on DoorDash with the name you never heard of, and you look at it, and it's just Chuck E. Cheese. It's like there's nobody in there. There's like a couple people with random jobs, and it's just Tony Khan raking it in. They got guys paying freelancers to film the show, bust them around.
Flexing Gate. That's what he owns. I have no idea what Flexing Gate does.
Flex Seal.
Bumper Works. Phil Swift for Flex Fuel.
Oh, that fucking product eats ass.
Does it?
That's what, Flex Seal?
Yeah,
Yeah, it stinks.
it's fucking terrible.
Oh. That's not what he has though. Whatever Flexingate is, that's his company. Automotive manufacturing company Flexingate. Okay.
Typical Carney shit.
Yeah, it sounds carny. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about AEW Dynamite, I guess. It was a good show, I think. We get our MJF celebrating the win. Comes in like one of Jabba the Hutt's brother and sister on the big what do they call that, Chris? What do you?
I know what it called as a litter. I don't know what they
okay.
were calling it on that show, but we'll go with litter here.
Okay, is that what it's called? It's called a litter. All right.
Yeah.
Being carried out on a litter. Making out with his real life girlfriend on TV and celebrating. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, this we get the overflow from the cheat last week. Obviously, that wasn't going to be the end of this story, and they kind of it's the driving force of most of Dynamite this week. So we get some good matches out of it. I don't think this was a particularly memorable segment, though. How about you,
Chris? Thoughts?
I thought the makeout session, I didn't know that was his girlfriend, but I thought it was quite awkward and a little gross. But other than that, I mean, typical, I'm the heel. I cheated to win. Now I'm going to come out and gloat and get called out on it. So I'm not mad at it.
The one thing I think is funny, was it Dynamite last week? He's wearing the blue suit with the Burberry, which just doesn't match at all. So it's like any wealthy person, you just give that thing up when it doesn't work with the outfit. It's like he's got this bright blue suit on with the Burberry scarf still at all times because that's like his signature thing. There's other brands because there's other
or
high-end
buy
brands
one of or buy one of every color.
I think that's Burberry though. That's Burberry's. That's Burberry's signature color.
Oh yeah, I mean, as you can tell by my clothing, I don't shop in Burberry too often.
The Flair sweatshirt today. I see that. What do you got on there?
I have the Broken
Skull. Oh,
let's go.
It's the Broken Skull. Something happened with him. I don't know.
Go ahead. Let me see what you got on first. Explain what you got on.
Broken Skull. It's a homage to the Arizona State T-shirt that superstar Billy Graham wore in the one promo that he cut, like one of his famous promos. It's on YouTube.
Broken Skull Challenge, Broken Skull Ranch. Very cool. Yeah, rumor is that Stone Cold Steve Austin is going to be at WrestleMania, possibly wrestling Kevin Owens. Thoughts, Brandon? Would you watch? Does that excite you?
Like, my initial reaction is, oh God, no! Don't bring 58-year-old Stoney out there. But also, yeah, I would definitely watch it. I love him. He's my favorite of all time. Yep. If he's coming out, it's my duty to show up and have my eyeballs on the screen.
I'm not going to complain about Steve Austin being on television. No. Enjoy him every time he's on TV. I don't want to see him wrestle. If he beats him up in like 3 seconds, I'm cool with that. Gives him middle fingers, drinks some beers, and says, see you later.
He could kill 18 minutes just like driving an ATV around, just fucking off, yelling at people.
Did you watch the one where he goes around with like, who was he with? He was with Ice-T in his old neighborhood, and they went to the barber shop. Have you seen the show?
The one on
was it on USA?
Yeah, it was the USA one.
Oh,
I think I saw that. It was a while back.
He has this like, I'll take Becky Lynch out for a day, and we'll like do a couple like date type things together and bond and interview. I'll interview you over the course of that. I haven't really watched the show though.
Yeah, the man has many children. I'm looking at his Wikipedia. He's got 4 kids and he's got 4 wives.
He's admittedly a horrible father, self-admitted horrible father.
Okay.
Yeah. Steve?
Yeah, Stoney.
Steve.
I like calling him Stoney. I don't know.
It's a great name for him.
It is. All right, let's move on.
I think the last time I saw him
I would watch
in Dallas, it was fucking fun.
Yeah. Go ahead, Chris.
He separated his shoulder immediately.
Yeah.
I would look. He got, in my opinion, the best wrestler of that era, bar none, hands down. And then you had one of my favorite wrestlers on that show in this era. I don't think anybody's really better than him when it comes to the whole package.
Who are we talking about?
Kevin Owens.
Okay.
I don't think there's anybody on that show better than that dude when it comes to the entire package.
Let me ask you a question.
No.
Watch WWE?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No.
Brandon, do you still watch it? Like catch it, sit down, turn it on?
No, I can't.
It's actually it's repellent on the menu, on the guide. I'm actually like, ooh.
Yeah, it's pretty
Oh
bad.
boy, no. My wife will put it on sometimes, but she is able to have fun with things, and where we're able to not and analyze it and hate it, and like, oh god, and all this other shit. So, although she curses everybody on the show too. So, she's like that. The old, remember, like I was telling a friend about this, about how like in the 70s, the old women loved wrestling. Like I know a lot of people who used to watch wrestling with their grandma. And the old ladies that come down, you see them on TV, like they would show it at the Spectrum or MSG, and there was this old Italian lady, and she would run down, she'd be like, "Hey, you motherfucker!" and start screaming and yelling at people. Like they knew her name, they knew who she was. Like that was that's a lost thing. The old lady that loves wrestling. I don't
Stanley's
think they
mom.
exist anymore.
Yeah.
Stanley's mom.
ECW.
Stanley's mom's dead, and half of Stanley's body's dead.
Yeah, I think Stanley might be dead now too. Is he still alive?
That's a shame.
Who's Stanley?
He's the guy that used to go to the ECW shows down at 2300.
He would yell.
The rest of his body died.
I think
Well,
he was in a wheelchair eventually.
That's how I explain. That's how we describe being in a wheelchair. Half dead. Half your body's dead.
Last time
You ain't got a
what
leg
show
to
was it
stand
where
on,
we saw
buddy.
him wheeling around? What show
It
was
was
that?
ROH.
ROH show?
Yeah, I think it was ROH New Japan. It was like our first time we went to wrestling there in fucking decades.
I think his
We
mom tried to hit
walked
me
in,
with
like,
her
"Ooh."
cane once.
Yeah, she did. ECW, because
Yeah.
he was screaming and we made fun of him. You leave my Stanley alone.
Real story.
Dude, fucking anybody tries to hit me with their cane, I'll rip it right out of their fucking hands and hit it over the head.
She falls down like a tripod.
And he can't pick her up because he's got no legs. Oh, mommy! And he just starts spinning around in circles on his wheelchair. I got a whole thing going on.
That's it.
I'm assaulting old ladies. I don't know.
Let's move on.
Fuck worst. I'm the worst right now.
ECW Stanley.
There you go. ECW Stanley. Anybody out there, listeners, remember Stanley? I think he's still kicking, but not literally. He ain't got no legs.
Oh, goddamn. No. I'm getting
He
away
ain't
from
got.
this.
He'd argue with you, but he ain't got a leg to stand on.
This ableist crap you guys are spewing over here. I don't.
Sorry about that. Sorry. His mom was not very nice. I'm sure.
And
he was
look,
a nice guy.
He annoyed me in 1993, so that's more than enough to fucking carry a grudge.
We're gonna plug in
It's
a couple.
terrible. I
30
apologize ahead of
years.
time. Apologize ahead of time. Last week it was we were talking about Stephen Hawking guys at the Stardom show. Now we're talking about Stanley with no legs. It's a shame.
Couple guys plugging in their blue Yetis and trashing people in wheelchairs on a Tuesday night. What are we doing?
Hey, let's move on. Let's get away from this. This is dangerous talk. Canceled. I'm canceled already. Darby Allin has refused Andre El Idolo's contract, and they both want to be TNT champ. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, is this a segment? I watched it a week ago now. I actually watched this live this week, and now I'm like, what the hell happened? This was Andrade finally he meets Darby Allin's boss.
Yes.
His employer, and and Sting and him have this awkward conversation where he's like, "Nice to meet." I don't think he even knew what Sting's name was. He's like, "Nice to meet you, finally, Mister."
Didn't he call him Mr. Sting? I think he called him Mr. Sting.
Did he say Sting?
Yeah, I
Because
think
you
so.
can hardly make out what even word came out. But
He called him Mr. Sting.
Sting, yeah, that's what it
Yeah,
was.
I mean, he's a wrestler. He's a pro wrestler. He knows who fucking Sting is.
No, I know, but I thought this was the bit. Is that he's like, I don't fucking get how
What do you
any
mean?
of this stuff works.
What do you mean, bit?
So no, anytime Andrade comes on with this, I'm interested.
Chris, thoughts?
Yeah, I love everybody here except for Sammy Guevara, and that's what kind of almost starts to flush this down the toilet.
Mm.
You know,
He's
It's
the
like a
baby
fu-
face.
Yeah, he's the good
Darby
guy.
Allin's the baby face.
Let's get the worst two dudes, like relationship king number 1 and 2. That's what they should do. They should have
Bad
a
boyfriend.
match where they just give advice on relationships. Whoever gives the worst advice is now the new TNT champion.
There you go. All right. Wardlow and the Blade. Don't care. Oh my God! Inner Circle's team meeting. Brandon thoughts. I have to explain. Hold up. This got an A according to.
Get the fuck out of here!
Wow.
Well, because
I was
fucking
thinking
Time Warner owns it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we know why, but it's still baffling. Go ahead.
This is the worst spot to be. I was thinking when I was watching this is like the spot where you've dumped a ton of time into this, and this is a multi-year story, and it's, I don't know if you would even say culminating, but resolving itself, and I don't know why anybody would possibly care. That's the worst thing that you can do, and tremendous amount of time, no emotional impact. This is what we got out of this, in my opinion.
Christoph.
So can I reverse something, because you blew past the Wardlow. I'm not going to talk about it for long, but the Wardlow Blade thing.
Please.
If you're even attempting to slightly try to camouflage this guy going babyface, don't have him squash heels.
Right.
That was it on that. I was like, he's obviously fucking turning now. He's beating up bad guys.
Right.
But yeah, this is like when we used to do backyard wrestling.
Yeah, it was really bad.
Like, it's really bad. And like when Jericho got gripped up, like I think there was some like it was awkward. Like it was almost like all right, this dude's going too far kind of look. Like, I'm really bad at you because you just grabbed me. Jericho's fucking hair plugs. Like, and just remember 2 weeks ago or last week I told you that I almost went to this. I would have had to fucking sit through this live. It was fucking
show though. It would have been a good one.
It was fucking no. The rest of the show was fantastic, but this was it's just so sad. And it's almost like they're trying to shoehorn these fucking guys in there to have something to do with them because they're such a major part. They were such a major part of this in the beginning, and it never. I mean, I'm still a firm believer in the fact that Jericho was never really truly. People weren't truly behind him. They were behind singing that song.
Right.
That's a massive part of it. Because, like I said,
insane because that song is so bad.
No, I get it. It is. I agree with you. But you go and I often will wait till guys I know who watch wrestling come into the bar and I'll play it on the jukebox for them. And it usually takes about 3/4 of the song to look at me and just go, "Fuck you." But yeah, it's I've said this a million times. You see it on TV and then you want to do it, and that's what they were kind of doing for months on end, years on end, and now it's just like
you've been to live WWE events. People say the same person will stand there and say, "We want Cena. Cena sucks."
Yeah,
it's the same person yelling it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? It's not really two people in the crowd arguing. It's one person going, "Boo Cena. Cena's great." It's
so that
I was just thinking
part of the crowd.
I was just thinking about it with this. Because I was getting into the business side of these things today with the Cody Rhodes news, and they said that Cody or Jericho is the highest paid person on that roster until CM Punk came and they matched what they gave Jericho. Mm-hmm. And Jericho is just full blown mailing this in, and that's despite his in-ring skills. That was always his specialty, was coming up with some kind of story out of thin air or character to make something interesting. And their interaction is like Sammy Guevara is talking, and then he just goes, "Shut up, Sammy." Sammy Guevara ignores him, and then he does like which would show like. None of these guys even care about each other at all. Sammy Guevara's comeback is, "I love you guys. You're my brothers. But also, I'm going to take my vest off and I'll quit right now because I've quit before and I'll quit again." And so I guess I don't really love any of you guys. So it's just a total mail-in. Yeah. This is how they're getting out of this.
They're hoping that one of them doesn't re-sign. They just don't have to tell the rest of the story. Yeah. Just go, what?
You America's top team getting over again.
If we get 3 years in where contracts are expiring with the show and they do that WWE stuff where it's like this story's over because a contract and we're never going to address it, man, I'll be disappointed.
Right. I mean, it was bound to happen. So I don't know. I think we're just as surprised that he didn't. They had to know that I don't get it. I don't get it. Why would they keep building stories for both Cody and fucking Brandi Rhodes up until last week and then not re-sign them? I don't get it.
Maybe he just sprung that, "Oh no, I want more money" on them. Thought he'd hold them hostage, pull an Ultimate Warrior. And they were like, later.
They're like, "Nope, I got my car shield money." What's it called again? Flex and Seal? Flex and Seal money.
Flex and Seal.
Flex Guard.
Flex and Rex.
Face of the Revolution ladder match qualifier. No surprise to us, right? We were stoked. But before this happened, Adam Cole and the Young Bucks attack Roppongi Vice backstage, and Jay White shows up from New Japan Pro Wrestling. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, they go bang bang here. Twitter was going nuts.
Yep.
Jay White, you think about like someone that generally would get me excited. All these free agents, just like you watch the crowd kind of awkwardly act interested to Danhausen, which I'm still confused why he's getting a pop every time he comes out. But this is one where you're like, it could be if they want to. I know he's still with New Japan, so he's not. Yeah, I don't think he's going to get there with AEW, but could be the best wrestler on the planet if he gets to that point. So for him to come over is a legitimate big deal, in my opinion.
Yep. He has a match. Did he have a match on Rampage? I believe he did.
He inserted himself in at the end
right.
of the tag match.
Yeah, Roppongi Vice versus, we'll talk about that now, I guess. Roppongi Vice versus Young Bucks on Rampage. And Jay White ends up coming out and beats up Orange Cassidy. What do you think we got going on here? These guys going to move between shows? What do we got going on here? Chris, thoughts?
Well, one thing I noticed about this is that is it me, or do the Young Bucks only lose when they've had the title forever and they have to drop it? They win constantly. It's just like every time they go in the ring, you know it's going to happen before it happens. But they got this weird dynamic with, it's very muddy. Jay White shows up, and then it's, wait, did you tell Kenny? Kenny doesn't like him. Did you tell Kenny? And Adam Cole's like, well, when you're Bullet Club for life. But then he interferes and inserts himself in a Young Bucks match, and the Young Bucks, it's just muddy. But I'm glad Jay White's there, and it's all awesome.
Confusing us. I'm so confused.
It's awesome muddiness because Jay White's involved. So I don't give a fuck about the rest of them. They're all fucking amateurs compared to that dude.
Fucking Young Bucks are like some of the
Trash.
worst actors on television.
Go, like you said, you fucking in the beginning. Go take a fucking acting class. You live in California. Class. It's not that hard, dude.
Any thoughts before we move on?
No, we can move on. I think this is just Rocky Romero going, yeah, book me. Get me in a match if I bring Jay White over. So this is that's what happened.
TV. Get me on TV, please. Okay, so Isaiah Cassidy of Private Party, he's in the ring. He's accompanied by Mark Quinn and Matt Hardy. And outcoming, no surprise to us, but no surprise to anyone, I don't think. Keith Lee comes out and dominates, and this was fucking awesome. Brandon, thoughts?
Yep, I called it, the Bearcat. He comes out. People were pumped. This was a good crowd reaction moment when you're like, oh, who's an AC for this thing? You get a strange assortment of characters gripping their hair and yelling, holy shit, it's Keith Lee, even though it was all over the internet. And he looks awesome. He's firing Isaiah Cassidy 15 feet in the air. Isaiah Cassidy is cool, by the way. He's one of the ones that of these mid-card guys could go somewhere in the next couple of years. But yeah, Keith Lee, that's an interesting dynamic to the show now. So happy to see it.
Immediately into this face of the revolution thing, which I'm assuming is a ladder match. Is that what it is?
I don't know what that gets you.
Yeah, it is, right?
You get the ring, right?
You grab the brass ring.
Grab the brass ring. So he's immediately in this.
Yeah, did a lot for Scorpio Sky.
So, yeah, what happened with Scorpio Sky? You get a TNT match if you get to fight. You got to be like you got to beat like four different people to get to.
You get a fucking hemorrhoid pad, and if you get hemorrhoids, you're taken care of. That's basically the steps of it.
Hemi insurance.
Not surprised. Private Party dude, what's his name? Isaiah Cassidy. Orange Cassidy. There's two Cassidys.
There are two Cassidys.
A lot of Cassidy.
What's all the dudes with the same last name?
I don't know, but Isaiah Cassidy gets beat up like a chicken shit heel like no other. I mean, at one point I didn't know that he did this all the time. Apparently he does. I never noticed because I think I kind of tune out when those guys are on. But he screams at the top of his lungs when he got thrown up in the air. I don't know if you guys heard this, but it was hilarious. No, this was a lot of fun, and it was exactly what you needed. It was like fucking pure squash, and I enjoyed it. And he's, Keith Lee. AEW likes to do this where they bring a guy in, and then it's all hype, and it's not a bad thing to do. And then he goes into that match and he doesn't win, but then you get him in a feud immediately. So it's like, who gives a shit about the fucking? First of all, he sits on that fucking thing. That dude's pretty big. He's gonna need a bigger hemorrhoid pad than that brass ring you're giving him.
Sit on the dark throne.
But
yeah, we saw the last one, didn't we? Wasn't that ladder match in Philly? Wasn't that Face of the Revolution, or was that just a ladder match?
That was a ladder match to see who would wrestle for the title.
That's the same thing with this, isn't it?
I don't know, but it wasn't Face of the Revolution. That's a pay-per-view match.
What do we get? I can't find a reason why it's called Face of the Revolution.
I'm assuming that's the pay-per-view coming up, right? The Revolution pay-per-view.
What does this get you?
It's got to be for the TNT
title.
Because it was Scorpio Sky.
Okay, yeah.
Scorpio Sky never fought for the other one.
No, he didn't. The big belt.
Is it just called the AEW Championship? Is there no other tag word in there?
AEW World Tag Champion of the World TV. I don't know. Guys, I'm going to tell you something. All right. I just realized that I watched this show drunk. And I don't
remember shit.
I don't remember anything. I remember all the big moments. I thought yeah.
Well, that's good. If this is like, you're the filter that we need for this. It's if you got drunk and you remember it, then it's worth talking about it. If you didn't remember it, then it's not worth talking about.
Yeah, Wednesday was my wife's birthday, so we went out to dinner. Very expensive birthday, very expensive sushi. It was very nice, very good time. Came home and then she fell asleep, and I put on wrestling, and I don't remember anything. So let's move on. Like this
Where'd
tag
you guys
match.
go?
We went to Hiroki, the omakase sushi place down in Fishtown.
Okay.
It's next to Mulheron's.
Yeah.
It's got a hobbit door.
I do. Yeah. Good.
Very good.
That's a cool door.
That is a save up some money, and that's a good birthday. Everybody that was there, because social distancing. There was only there was 4 groups in there. Everybody was spaced out. It was everybody's birthday. You know what I mean? Everybody had a birthday in that group. So it's definitely like a special occasion place, but it was pretty cool. I liked it. I used my bad Japanese on the sushi chef. It was pretty cool.
That's good. I like that you kept trying. You got to just keep going. I saw you posting stuff that you were using Japanese, and I was like, I hope he's doing it the full meal, because I think it's cheesy if you just give him like a little hello in Japanese, and then you just go back to like, can I get the California roll?
Yeah, give me California roll. Can you hold the wasabi? I don't like spicy stuff. Nah, I was all in. Konbanwa. That's what I said to him when I walked in. He konbanwa'd me back, which means good evening.
Respect.
Yeah, respect. I didn't give him the konnichiwa. Konnichiwa. Konbanwa'd him.
I went to Zahav on Thursday. Very good. But into the 2 people, into the 3s.
Jesus.
Expensive.
Yeah, I went to Zahav too. I've been to Zahav. I've been to his other restaurant too. What's the one in Fishtown?
Laser Wolf or Soraya?
He's got Soraya. Soraya's fucking awesome.
Yeah. Soraya's good. I had lunch there. Is that his?
Yep.
I didn't know that it was his.
Yeah.
No, Laser Wolf is his.
Oh, Soraya somebody else's.
I don't. Soraya's somebody else's. I don't go to his places.
So no one knows who we're talking about right now.
Michael Solomonov.
Yeah, I don't go to his places.
Why not?
Because in my opinion, and this could just be me, he traded on his overcoming addiction to get more people to come into his restaurants, and I thought that was sleazy.
I think that's taking advantage of the situation, brother.
Whatever. That's your opinion. Go give him your money. I won't give him mine. I don't care.
I'm trying to figure out who owns it. Soraya. So Soraya's, I think Soraya's not Vietnamese. It's Vietnamese.
Lebanese.
Sorry, Lebanese food, not Vietnamese. Definitely not Vietnamese food.
It's fucking fantastic, though.
Yeah, fantastic. Great place.
And so, in my opinion, I haven't been to a lot of restaurants in the city recently. We don't go out to eat there too often. But Soraya is probably one of the coolest spaces, one of the nicest spaces in the city of Philadelphia right now.
I didn't check out the outside. It was winter when we went. Apparently the patio is gorgeous.
I don't even think they had it open when I went. We ended up going for lunch one day, but just like the wide open space that it is, it's all naturally lit. You get the really high windows in the front. It's a real good setup. It's probably one of my favorite like I said, one of my favorite spaces because everywhere else pretty much in the city just stinks like shit anymore. Because a lot of those buildings are so old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, oh yeah, this is real nice. And then like, the lights get a little bright and you're like, oh my God, they painted this place like trash.
One thing about Zahav
business.
Brandon, did you have this problem? When I went to Zahav, they were like filming some show for like Israeli television or something when I was there, which is besides the point. So there was just like camera crews there.
That's weird.
We were like, it's fucking bizarre. But then it took me 40 minutes to get a refill on a beer. Did you have that problem?
So we went bottles of wine and we sat at the bars. So we didn't have those problems, but it was one of those things where my girlfriend got like a $50 gift card from work. So it's like, oh, perfect, $50 gift card. Now this is only going to cost $275
for hummus and flatbreads and stewed meats.
So it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. But that's the way to eat, though. I like that solid team where they bring like the little stuff out. When I go out to eat, if I'm going out to eat, especially with more than one person, I don't like to just sit there and just like, let's just slam our burgers and not talk to each other and then go like lay on the couch and fart. It's like just pick and talk, and that's how I like to do it. So places like that, A+ for me.
Yeah, we had our holiday party. The bar had our holiday party on Sunday. We went to Chew Noodle House in Fishtown and basically just got a shit ton of appetizers, some pitchers of beer. That's how I spent my Super Bowl.
Nice.
No TVs.
Oh, I saw you were at Barcade.
I was at Barcade. Yeah, we went there afterwards, and then we ended up at Fishtown Tavern for the end of it.
I'm going to tell you, I'm a little insulted I didn't get invited. I mean, I did drive you to get your Christmas tree for the bar this year. Doesn't that make me an employee?
No, that was free labor.
All right, you try that Quick Crash game?
Which one's Quick Crash?
It's like the target shooting thing.
That's amazing. The guy the robot voice is such a jerk off. How high did you get?
I got top 1%. I played it for like 45 minutes.
Yeah, I ended up getting 9th out of 100.
I got like 3.95 seconds. I was looking at buying one on eBay. There's two of them for like $8,000 somewhere.
They're pretty cool.
Halvesies.
We didn't realize when we were playing. We thought it was all accuracy. We thought it was all accuracy when we were playing. I didn't realize it was also you have to get it as quick as possible. By the end of it, we started to realize we were like.
It's
like it's just like almost like Duck Hunt, but these cups come up with targets on. I remember.
Like, that mug exploding is amazing.
Oh, dude, it's so fun.
So cool.
I saw the picture you guys that you put up, Jim, or the bar put up. I don't know who put it up, but
maybe.
It was. I remember it.
Excellent. One of them Not a great score.
That was one of them old games that would be like always in the corner of the Neshaminy Mall, Spaceport. And I remember that
helicopter game, the tank hunting game,
the submarine game,
Seawolf. Submarine game, Seawolf.
So good.
Yeah. There you go.
Anyway,
talk about wrestling.
Yeah. Why?
Okay, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Keith Lee, very cool. Excited for him. CM Punk and his mystery partner versus FTR. His mystery partner was Jon Moxley. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah. Moxley coming out, especially in the surprise when that music hits, like that's always going to play well, especially on cable TV. Can't beat that. This was a long match. So it's one of those ones where long match, you know exactly how it's going to end the moment that it starts. So you just got to try to invest yourself, and you're like, wow, let's see what these guys do with each other. The novelty of CM Punk and Moxley wrestling together as a tag team was cool. FTR, works very well, obviously. They're one of the best tag teams of all time, if not the best. I don't know if you've heard that, Chris, but it's the truth. But other than that, it's like a good, this was a solid cable TV show. I would have been happy to have gotten this if I went to AC, but I don't have too much to say.
Chris, thoughts?
Oh, this was fantastic. I enjoyed every bit of it. My only knock on it is that they did the finish and the finish didn't take, and then they did the finish again.
Right.
I think that, and this is me nitpicking, but there's kind of a reason why they could have cut this match by almost 10 minutes, and they could have squeezed two people we didn't know into the card and gotten them on TV, but they let this thing go way too long. I started tuning out near the end. If you're going to have them give the guys a doomsday device and then nail them both with your finishers, make that the end. Don't make them do the doomsday device, then nail them, and then try to nail them with both your finishers and fail, and then nail them with your both your finishers and win. When we already saw you try to nail, you know what I mean? Like you're getting repetitive, and for no real reason. The end result was the same, and I think they could have just backed this match off a little bit. Had that been the finish, Doomsday Device, both finishers in the middle of the ring, knock these guys out, and then because they don't look bad, they're gonna look good. They're the heel tag team, right? Going up against basically, they're like, mid-level superheroes going up against the guys that got their own comic books. They're going to lose. And did I lose you there? I think I lost you there when I said that. Your face kind of went like ghost. You were trying to figure out what I was saying.
Who?
You.
Oh, no.
No, okay.
I got you.
Yeah, but I mean, just sometimes I want to see people I haven't seen before. So like I don't mind seeing I want a night where I get to make fun of what's her name, Red Velvet. Like I want one of them matches in there, you know what I mean? Like one of these matches, get some young people in there. So but
that's one of those
very good.
Chris, that's one of those things that AEW, like, it's an old wrestling thing that AEW just completely ignores, like protecting a finisher. They just throw finishers out left and right and kick out of them on cable TV.
Well, so, that's a good point. I'll make a point real quick. You, before we started the podcast, I told you guys I forgot to watch Rampage this week, so I threw it on real quick. And one of the things I noticed, and I've probably said it a million times, like how many fucking false finishes are you going to have? I mean, really, enough. You hit a guy with a fucking belt and he kicks out. You hit a guy with a ring bell and he kicks out. You powerbomb a guy on a fucking step sideways and he gets up. It's like sometimes it's like eventually it's like, dude, can somebody just lose to something that looks horrific?
Strong.
Like, you did something horrific to the guy. Make him fucking lose, dude. It's awesome. It's fucking wrestling. It's not. Oh, fuck. All right, let's go. Move on. I'm done.
Atlantic City really popped for Moxley.
I popped for Moxley.
GC Dub, baby.
I heard that. No, it was CZ Dub.
CZ Dub.
They were chanting. But I popped for Moxley. I didn't know it was going to be him.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. All right, so here's more of what Chris was talking about. We get the TBS Championship match. Jade Cargill versus Aqua. Is that the way her name was pronounced? Aqua, right? AQA? I believe it's Aqua.
They were calling her AQA the whole time, so.
Were they calling her AQA? I think it's supposed to be Aqua, though.
She called herself AQA.
Oh, she is AQA. Okay, I don't know. I was drunk. This match stunk. Brandon, thoughts?
No, this is the Jade Cargill show we're getting for a little bit here. Some better than others, but yeah, I believe you said the worst AEW match of all time.
Yeah, this is pretty fucking bad. This is easily the worst one that's been on TV. That not on Dynamite or Dark. This was so bad. I mean, they both looked cool, but man, they were fucking flopping all over the place.
They one thing I thought was interesting. One thing about this, I think they mentioned that Aqua or AQA was like one of Booker T's.
She is.
People, which I just kind of thought was interesting that they referenced that since Booker T has nothing to do with the program. That's a like weird blurred line thing that I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They have no problem by name referencing people that have never worked for them.
Who else is a Booker T product? I believe Bianca Belair was originally a Booker T trainee. I think. Chris, thoughts?
Yeah, this was brutal. This was like, and not like it was just like,
this is messy.
Just really messy. And back to the point I made weeks ago is that this is going to be your problem. You're either going to have her beat people that are really talented and can make her look great because she can't carry anyone.
Okay.
I mean, whatever. She'll get better, but
we got to watch it happen live.
And I guess they really look, they put it in a perfect spot because after that Mox match, everybody went to the bathroom. I guarantee you. So it wasn't even like many people in the audience really even saw it. They were probably all deflated and tuned out.
Right. It's the down match. It was
popcorn match, whatever.
Huge fucking 35-minute tag match. Everybody's going to be gassed at that point. All right, let's move on. The Professor, Serena Deeb, and her 5-minute rookie challenge. What'd you think of this, Brandon?
I don't know. I was going back and forth on this where I was like, I was like, this is really insulting to the division and like its lack of depth. But then I was like, it's kind of fun that Deeb's like actually making a thing of it and working with it. So I don't know. Not that I found it like offensive, but I was like, man, they're really rubbing it in your face that she's better than 99% of these people by a wide margin.
This person's name was Katie Arquette. I'm assuming David Arquette's daughter. Chris, thoughts?
I thought it was fucking hilarious, especially since she let time run out and still beat her in a minute.
Yeah.
But, like I said, we need squash matches too. So,
Yep.
And if anybody's going to just beat the shit out of somebody, it's her.
Okay, the queen of the silver screen. See what's going on here. Got some stuff about this Arquette person. Well, she's the queen of the silver screen.
In this Cody Rhodes drama that was unfolding today, one of the things he said was he felt like he disagreed with the way they were handling the women's division, I guess, came out, and he felt like there was a lack of depth to it and that people weren't doing a good job of raising the bar of a lot of these wrestlers. So for that to be like back to back, those two things made it, I think, a little bit more awkward to me. But yeah, it's like, who cares?
Yeah. I'm assuming that, Hikaru Shida is going to come back and beat her. That's what we're going to get out of this, right?
Yeah.
Oh. All right. Main event. Texas Death Match for the AEW World Championship. I think we agreed it was the conclusion was known that Hangman Page wasn't going to lose, but Hangman Page beat Lance Archer. This match was fucking rad. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, this was a ton of fun, man. A lot of blood. This is, I felt like plays well with that GCW crowd down there to Shore at the Boardwalk Hall.
At the Shore.
Jake the Snake is somehow the only manager in pro wrestling history to like not communicate with the wrestler he's working for about whether or not he wants him to interfere. He interferes, and Lance Archer's like, "What the hell are you doing, man?" They're yelling at each other. That's a big part of the match. But yeah, you take the whole place apart to end the show, so can't complain.
I really wanted Jake to hit that DDT though.
Yeah,
I just wanted to see him do it and get the bump.
Anytime he falls on his butt, it's good TV. So at this point, they didn't get that.
This is dad pants. Chris, thoughts?
Yeah, this was awesome. The best part of the match was Jake the Snake's fucking like, ooh, I don't know. What do you want me to do? he got yelled at like I yelled at that kid at the bar on Saturday night. And he was like, fuck him.
Archer's one of those guys that like, I don't know if he'll ever go any higher than this with AEW, but he's as good as Hangman Page if they wanted to go in that direction. I don't think he's like noticeably worse than their other title holders. What do you guys think about that?
No, he's good. He's a good monster heel, but he can work in the ring. I like him. I don't think I'll ever have the title. Chris?
No, I like him. He's got a great sense of humor about his tramp stamp. So,
All right, let's move on to Rampage. We talked about Young Bucks and Roppongi Vice. You guys got anything else to add about that? No, right?
Nah.
Britt Baker versus Robin Renegade. Now, Robin Renegade's sister was on Twitter, and she said, "Watch AEW Rampage tonight to watch my sister Robin Renegade lick Britt Baker's ass, not kick." Well done. There you go. Brandon, thoughts?
No comment on the ass licking, the Renegade ass licking. They get Thunder Rosa back in the picture with Britt Baker, so that's some positive movement from. I think Britt Baker's pretty much done nothing for 8 months now, so I think that's probably what we were most interested from her. Thunder Rosa again, so can't complain about that.
I guess we're getting Jamie Hayter versus Mercedes Martinez before that match. I don't know. Chris, thoughts?
Yeah, this match was not good, but an advanced storyline, so I'm down with it.
Yeah.
And
is it Hayter or Thunder Rosa versus Martinez?
Oh, we're getting Jamie Hayter and Martinez eventually.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought they announced like this week. We'll go through it, but that this week or something is Rosa versus Martinez in a no DQ because of the pipe DQ.
So we might have a pipe war.
A pipes allowed match.
Pipe war happening tonight. Chris, thoughts?
Nah, you guys summed it up.
Right.
I'm good. Yeah.
Hook versus Blake Lee. Blake L.I. Brandon, thoughts?
This is one of those I refilled my water, cut some cheese and crackers, and it was over. I didn't even get a look at Blake Lee, so that's how fast this was. They were just having some squashes in.
Yep. Chris, thoughts?
Yeah, well, they announced it was a squash, yeah, right? I mean, he just kicks the shit out of him. But I found it like odd that they announced Blake Lie as former high school champion wrestler. Like I was a former high school champion football player.
I was a grade school baseball champion.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, why what? Like, what the fuck? Oh yeah, he's a former champion. No.
Of high school.
We've been in. We all went to high school. I mean,
you were a champion football player, Chris?
I played for I played for a JV team that won a championship.
There you go. There you go.
The best record in the public league. Yes, I got no recognition for it, but technically, yes.
What did you get a trophy?
We did. No, I got a trophy. I think I got a plaque for that. I got a plaque for the JV championship or the undefeated season and the championship, and I got a trophy for most dedicated player. I proceeded to completely ditch school for the rest of the year and hang out with my fucking idiot friends. And then one time I was coming home from we went to the quarry up by the Neshaminy Creek, you know, that big rock quarry we used to go swimming in. And I ran into a couple guys I played football with on the bus ride home, and one guy went, most dedicated player. And I proceeded to rain blows upon him in the back of the SEPTA bus like there was no tomorrow. That was my dedication to the fucking sport.
You know what else you earned out of that?
What?
A nickname for your stepfather to bully you with.
Oh, yeah.
He'd call you Allstate all the time. Whenever you screwed up, he would say no state for Allstate.
Good guy.
That's another thoughts on that.
That's another fucking podcast that'll go on for about 6 years straight.
We can go in we can go down that road if we want.
There's
you didn't win most dedicated student. I don't know what.
I don't know.
Yeah, you got to go to class.
Like the football, didn't like the rest.
Right? Dexter Manley was fucking fantastic. He couldn't even read. I don't know what the problem is. And it was his goddamn fault that I couldn't play football after that, because if he never got caught being illiterate, they would have been no academic probation, because that didn't start till fucking Dexter Manley shit started. Google Dexter Manley.
What position did you play?
I was a center and a offensive guard and a linebacker, but I couldn't tackle. So they moved me off of that position and they put me in the O-line.
So when you would chop it up with Jason Kelsey at the bar, would you go, I used to be All-State center.
I was
I used to be a champ center.
A champ too, champ.
No, I would discuss my impending hernia surgery, and he would tell
like that.
I would discuss. A lot of people did. I am a little bit too smart for that. I just discussed impending surgeries with him because I had to have hernia surgery really bad, and he told me how it was going to go. That was about it. And did a lot of time protecting him from lost. If I was in there, I would have taken that guy's head off.
You know what you should have done there was.
Yeah, you fucking gut like this.
There's been a lot of good Eagles. You are the best one.
There you go. Don't be that fan.
Yeah.
There's a guy that comes in the bar that Orange Cassidy was in the bar once, and this guy went up to him. This girl introduced him, and he went, "Oh yeah, I've seen you on TV. I love your gimmick." And when he said gimmick, he shut down and didn't talk to him anymore. Don't use insider terms, dude.
Yeah, they don't like that at all.
They don't like that shit.
No,
don't do that.
No. Well, we do a wrestling podcast, so we know about wrestling. We use all the terms we want to use.
I try not to.
Here's another thing. If you do a wrestling podcast, I'm just assuming hasn't happened, but if you do a wrestling podcast and you meet a professional wrestler, you probably shouldn't tell them you do a wrestling podcast.
I was just gonna. Can you imagine?
Could you
Yeah, I
imagine?
do actually do a wrestling podcast.
You and everybody else.
just melt into liquid behind the bar.
Right.
Fuck, we're losers.
All right. The main event, Jurassic Express versus the Gun Club for the AEW tag titles. Nothing says main event and excitement like the Gun Club. Brandon, thoughts?
Skipped it. The only thing I
Thank you.
liked
So did
about
I.
this, the only thing I liked about this was before the match when Mark Henry's piping, gassing him up, Jungle Boy demands like the loudest ass boys chant, and Billy Gunn grabs his sons by the ears like they're little kids, and he doesn't want to even put that thought in their head that someone would say ass in front of them or call them the ass boys, even though they're like 30-year-old men.
Did you notice that Jungle Boy keeps doing this thing where he keeps on saying, I'm going to take that ass hard and stuff like that? It's like innuendoing all over the place. He does it like every promo. It's great. Did you notice this?
I didn't know.
Yeah, the last couple of weeks he's been doing it. And when I take that ass, I'm going to go hard on it. He says, he does it on purpose. You can tell.
I love it.
He's not breaking his face. It's just completely stone. Like,
Try not to laugh.
Chris thoughts.
Oh, I didn't watch this piece of shit. Fuck. Oh, God. You got my favorite character in professional wrestling, the monster babyface that just gets the shit kicked out of him all the time. What threat is fucking dinosaur guy?
The dinosaur.
Everything he does, he loses. I don't understand this.
Austin Gunn is at the top of the list of like, you're related to somebody. You've got to be.
Yeah, he's the.
Obviously he is. Obviously he is. But just when you see him, you look at him for 1 second, you're like, oh shit, you're not actually supposed to be here.
Yeah, cousin or you. All right, let's look at this week's Dynamite. Unless I missed anything. Brandon, did I miss anything from last week? Well,
No.
I missed a lot. I missed an entire show because I wasn't conscious. I was awake, but I wasn't conscious. Good.
You're lucky.
Danielson, I guess, was like talking a little bit about he didn't care about Moxley CM Punk. That's still boiling. I think that's probably the most interesting thing that we didn't discuss. That's ongoing, but no real movement there.
Yeah, I think he said the offer's still on the table. I believe he said that.
Yeah.
Chris?
No, I got nothing for you. You're lucky you were awake but unconscious because nothing really to write. Other than a tag match, I don't think there was anything really to write home about.
Keith Lee.
That's one of those, like, if you're there live, 8 to 9:45 rules, and then you're like, oh, another hour 15.
Right.
Let me tell you something. Keith Lee, I'm excited, but eventually Hamlet's going to come out, do a promo, and it's going to be like, well, forsooth on yon window, for I will pin the bad guy, for thine is thee, and thee is thine.
I don't mind him. I don't know why you're really against him. His
it's
vocal
awful.
skills.
It's yeah. Well, it's not. I feel embarrassed for him.
I feel embarrassed for all these guys.
I feel embarrassed for myself, actually.
Yeah.
We're talking about it.
I just spent an hour and 22 minutes talking about this.
Yeah. All right, this week's Dynamite card. I'm on dailyddt.com.
That sounds legit.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one.
Hold on, can I stop you?
Yes.
I want you to read every misspelling that you find as it's spelled.
Okay, I'll try my best. All right. Bryan Danielson versus Lee Moriarty. So I guess we're getting a little challenge going on.
They came out during the promo and with useless Seidel that somehow gets a paycheck, and they during Bryan Danielson's promo, Lee Moriarty and Matt Seidel came out.
Oh, Matt Seidel.
Yeah. So I guess that's where that's coming out. I was doing a lot of fast forwarding through this entire episode of Rampage.
Mm-hmm. Brandon, does this excite you?
I mean, yeah, why not? This is like a decent TV match. I'm curious what's going to happen with these Nightmare Factory guys now.
Yeah, no, there's no nightmare tattoo hovering over them like an angel.
I wonder if Tony Khan will be that petty where he's like, we'll squash all of the things that Cody's created in AEW.
I don't think so. These guys,
He doesn't.
There's so much. Like, these guys are young. Let's keep them around.
and more importantly, they're fucking cheap.
Super cheap to keep them around. As soon as they get too expensive, let WWE have them. It's gonna be like isn't he a fucking Sabernomics or whatever the fuck it's called, the sports money?
Yeah. He's a Jesus. He's their analytics guy.
Yeah, he's analytics.
He's the analytics
sports
guy for the
analytics.
Jaguars. Yeah.
There you go.
I think he's nothing. It's just whatever. But to the same point, I think it's just whatever. If you own the Jaguars, their value goes up whether they win 1 game or 8. So why not just win 1? Who cares?
You're right.
I think it's basically AEW.
Max Caster versus Wardlow in a Face of the Revolution ladder match qualifier. Brandon, thoughts?
This one I'm not excited for. I could do without Caster on TV every other week.
Max Caster.
Wardlow's winning.
I guess he's going to get a little offense in though, right? He's not going to get completely squashed.
No, he'll probably get completely fucking squashed.
Yeah.
He's been squashing everyone and get fucking squashed. And I'm sorry, I love it.
Yeah.
If you're going to be that much of a dick and then you get fucking squashed, it makes your dickness that much better because you just keep doing it, keep talking shit, and you get the ass beaten out of you. But to my earlier point, Wardlow, second week in a row, be fighting a heel.
Now he's heel
and
fighting.
Squashing him. So that's wonder what's happening.
Babyface. How about Chris Jericho versus Jake Hager, who we haven't seen. When's the last time we saw him fucking wrestle? Hager.
MMA, dude.
The MMA fight? Is that it?
I don't know if the MMA was before or after he descended from the
rafters,
Jumbotron or whatever, and that was that big. Was that the last time that he fought? Was that pay-per-view match
in summer
where they were like all over the place?
Yeah, it was in summer. It was the
It was like Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, it was Conan with his tumor at the bar, right?
His hernia.
It was Stadium Stampede before there were fans in the building.
Yeah.
And that was the one. I thought you said he came down from the ceiling. I was about to make a car show reference here.
Did he come down from the ceiling in that match? I don't remember any of this. That's how long ago it's been.
The match started and they all came off of the top of the like big screen in the end zone.
That's
Jake Hager. How do I pull up his like? Is this? Doesn't there a website that has like everybody's match history? Like
what's it called?
It's whack.
Yeah, full.
I don't think it's worth your time.
Oh, it was an AEW Full Gear. He was in a 10-man. It was when he fought like the UFC fighters in that street fight. Yeah,
cage match is the word.
No.
Oh, that's right. The street fight. That's right. Well, anyway, Jericho and Jake Hager versus Santana and Ortiz. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, this is a dud. This is going to be a tough one to talk about next week.
Mm-hmm. Chris, thoughts?
I hope the match goes so poorly that Jericho's rug gets embarrassed and is like crawls out of the arena. Yeah.
Mercedes Martinez versus Thunder Rosa in a no DQ match. Brandon, thoughts?
Two lovely ladies cracking each other over the skull with pipes relentlessly on TNT.
TBS, don't steer the listeners wrong.
TBS. That's right.
Chris, thoughts?
I'm down.
Yeah, same here. I think Hater gets involved, of course. I think she pulls the legs out from underneath old Mercedes Martinez.
I don't like when the weapons. This is such a stupid rant for 90 minutes into a stupid podcast. Okay. I don't like when we got no material. I don't like when the weapons are beyond belief of the actual use, where it's like you can break a guitar over someone's head, or a kendo stick, or a chair, but when it's like the sledgehammer or just the lead pipe, it's like you can't do like a
you can't fake that. That's murder.
You could have killed.
But only in professional wrestling can you attack someone with a fucking deadly weapon and just show up next week for a paycheck. Sammy Guevara. Go ahead.
Match. Just like you can't do that. All right, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, good. James on the ring. I'm always a big fan of people that use hammers and they use the handle instead. They just want to be safe. I've got a big old hammer. Let me use the handle and whack you with it.
41-year-old Mercedes Martinez is going to come out and sink the claw side of a hammer into Thunder Rosa's skull.
Hold on, just to Jim, just to quote one of the greatest revenge films, the greatest revenge film of all time.
Yes, Shaolin Master Killer.
Shaolin Master Killer, using the handle is much better.
Using the handle's much better.
So what you're no, I
I'm
disagree
sorry.
with you.
I was wrong.
Yeah, you were.
I was wrong. Sammy Guevara versus Darby Allin in a TNT title match. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, I would actually be down to get that belt back on Darby. He's probably been the most fun. Him or I want to say Rusev, but it's Miro. So you could get somewhere out of this. The Sammy Guevara TNT title run is just kind of killing me. So we need one of these TV champions to have like crazy matches.
Chris, thoughts?
So I'd like to say I'm really into this match, but fucking Sammy Guevara makes me want to gouge my fucking eyes out. I can't look at him. There's a actual like I fucking despise the man. I don't even know him. Just something about him. He's a fucking
Maybe
creep.
this will save it for you. LE DeLow interferes, though it won't matter.
That's fantastic. But here's the other thing.
I think the no holds barred match is going to go on last anyway. Yeah. So interference or no DQ match. So an interference in the TNT title match is probably would make sense. Maybe we'll get a triple threat out of it.
I would love that if we get that at a pay-per-view. But I will tell you this. I noticed something too. Not only does Sammy Guevara just infuriate me just to see his face, but now he's coming on my television and making me he's been doing it for a while. He's making me fucking read.
It's too
with
small
these
for me
fucking
to read. It's really small.
Yeah, God. Ugh. Fuck.
He does that Bob Dylan thing.
Yeah. And
you just don't want to be watching.
Listen, I'm sorry. I'm gonna say it, and it's perfect. It's perfect. It's perfect that he's doing it because Bob Dylan was a cunt and fucking Sammy Guevara's a cunt. So
yo, I'm hanging up.
Brandon, thoughts on
listen,
Bob Dylan being a cunt?
Bob Dylan, greatest of all time.
There you go.
That does not it does not make him not a cunt. He can still be great and a cunt at the same time.
C words all over the place.
Yes, that's a good one.
I love it. Go ahead, Brandon.
No, I maybe sort of, but it's like he's Wayne Gretzky compared to the number 2 all-time NHL points leader. He's looking down on everybody from by a mile, so maybe he talks a little shit.
Yeah, all right, excited. Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs sideways for this upcoming Dynamite, Brandon.
This is a down. This is a clear down to me. I don't. There's none of this. None of this is interesting. So this is a good week. We'll talk about Pacemaker.
Chris,
I got a good sideways on this. I think the Thunder Rosa, Mercedes Martinez match turns it from a thumbs down to a thumbs sideways.
The big Cody swerve too that he actually re-signed is going to be amazing. Where they went through all this effort just to screw us over and fuck with our emotions. Have you, Brandon, did you go on Twitter and lose your fucking mind and type out a giant thing about how Cody has betrayed us and Tony Khan is the greatest savior of professional wrestling?
No, I can't imagine. I can't imagine doing that, but I do enjoy reading some of their responses. Up until recently, people would be like, "It's toxic on there. It's so bad. Like it drives you nuts." And I would always be like, "How? How are you getting like emotionally invested in this? It's so stupid." Lately, it's actually I've flipped, and I start to go on there and get angry. And now I just have to turn it off. So
I don't really post that often. I just watch and like.
How would you say anything to the public?
It's so weird.
I don't have anything to say. Like,
it's for one person to read it and like it. You know what I mean? Like, and they don't even like. Nobody ever likes anything. It's like
I just read stuff and it's like, well, that doesn't make any sense at all. I would like to explain to them, but they're like, you're just gonna circle the toilet bowl. So just let it be.
Big fan. I love it.
The only thing you could do online is what Chris does and go top fan status and just
top fan
master troll.
And then never respond.
Yeah, you never respond.
Out.
Yeah. I got in an argument with one of the guys from Voices of Wrestling once. Terrible idea. Before you know it, I was getting DMs from weird people that are like super fans, like calling me a piece of shit and stuff.
I'm
Yeah.
I was like,
tell
yeah,
this guy.
I was like, I'm done. I'm done with this. I'll never speak to anybody online again unless I'm giving them positive reinforcement. I give no one any air.
Do you remember what the reason was?
I think they were upset about Matt Hardy being a magician on AEW or something.
If you're getting in a fight with somebody that has like a lot of followers too, that makes it way worse. One Saturday night at like 1:00 in the morning, I got in like a 25 tweet exchange with Stan Verrett, the ESPN anchor, about something. And it was just like I woke up to 200 plus notifications on Twitter from just anybody that follows and will sit there and read a goober from ESPN for hours. So.
Yeah, and they also don't like they tag you and everything. Tag me, man.
Yeah.
Fuck alone. Yeah.
Fuck Stan Verrett.
I'm a big fan of Reddit where they can just vote you down. They don't like.
Yeah, just make it disappear.
Just make it disappear. It's gone. Big fan. All right. This week, I believe we get our promised match between Donna Del Monde and Prominence. I will preview it for you guys. Should be a good one. Hopefully, there'll be some blood. Spill some blood.
Is it gonna be up by next Tuesday, you think?
We'll find out. I don't know. I think it's a Cork and Hall show, so it should be up depending on when it airs. If they do their shows, the way Stardom World works is if the shows happen in Tokyo, usually the next day they air. So Cork and Hall's in Tokyo. If it's out of town, they usually are on the weekends, and they wait until they get back into Tokyo to do all their editing. They don't do it on the road. They do it when they're there. I think it's one guy doing everything.
I'll try to turn it around and watch it if we can, because I don't want to talk about AEW like this again.
No.
I don't want to do this ever
about
again.
No. Like I had other stuff lined up today, but it's like with the Cody news and everything. The show was fun, but it wasn't really groundbreaking except for the Keith Lee part. So now we got to sit around and wait for Cody news, which I'm assuming it'll be released tomorrow because they got to air a show. You know what I mean?
I'm taking this as like legit. If this is a work, he's got everybody fooled.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's a little bizarre, but I think it's legit too. I think you're on the right path. That he blew it. He went in there trying to get some deal that the cons were not willing to give up on. And sorry, you did a great thing for our company, but when it comes down to it, we don't have the money to just be handing out to people anymore. Adios. See you, bud.
Yeah, I like stuff like this, like just awkward behind the scenes business shit where it's like, man, Cody, you got taken for a ride, dude.
Sorry, bud. Chris,
that's I think we may have been like, kind of in the general vicinity when we were saying that he probably realized, they probably are all realizing that you don't really got any fucking vested interest in this. And if you got let go tomorrow, you'd have nothing to really show other than your salary. You'd have nothing to show for it. And you did all this work, and it might be going from, this guy is great and he's willing to start this new company. He's going to give us all a voice. It's going to be different than WWE, blah, 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 blah. And then you realize, holy shit, he's just another fucking cutthroat fucking businessman. Because that's all this boils down to. I get into these arguments where people.
I'm going to disagree with you a little bit. I don't think it's necessarily cutthroat. I think you're just trying to save a buck, man. You're still not filling houses. You're still not 100% in a lot of these places.
And then
when it comes down to it, a guy wants more money than you're willing to spend, and you can sign, instead of signing him, you can sign 3 guys for half, for less money.
Or maybe you can use the tools you already have in your fucking toolbox.
Right, exactly.
And not sign anyone. It just seems like when you're signing people and not fucking using them, then why are they there? And it's almost like, that the WWE con guy came in and he probably said the same thing. Right. You got 8 million tools in your toolbox, and all you need is this one. It's got 6 fucking tools in it. That's all you need. But you know what I mean? I just happen to have that sitting there. But is
that a multi-head screwdriver?
You could put everything together with a 6-in-1 screwdriver, and you have fucking an entire $10,000 set of Snap-on tools. You don't need fucking any of them. Get rid of them. Mm-hmm. And that's probably what's happening with these guys now. And frankly, I would much rather watch a show that's got some dudes that I know and then a bunch of guys that I fucking don't. Because if the writing's good, if it's coherent, if the stories are compelling, it don't matter who's performing them as long as they're doing it well.
Right.
I don't give a shit. Like I said with Stardom, I'm starting to catch on. I'm attaching myself to people. I don't know who any of these fucking women are. I don't give a shit.
The woman in the towels.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Cody Rhodes.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's
Brandi.
Cody Rhodes.
Brandi Rhodes.
Brandi Rhodes was in Stardom. It was very entertaining.
Was she?
It was very entertaining. I would say it was good. It's quite entertaining.
Yeah, I guess the perception was that AEW was like by the wrestlers for the wrestlers show, and then all of a sudden it just kind of slips out on Twitter today. It's like, oh, the Khans own 100% of this. It's not at all. He's just been being nice. Now he doesn't have to anymore.
By the wrestlers for the wrestlers, maybe behind the scenes, but when it comes down to cutting those checks, there's only two people in charge. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Right.
it's interesting, man. I don't know what's going to come of this.
Maybe Tony Khan also, he starts this business and he's one of the few smart enough people to realize, hey, look, I always wanted to do this, but I don't fucking know how. You know how you get people, they're like, buy that bar, I'll run it better than you can. They fire everybody and it's closed in a month.
Right.
Yeah, it's the same thing. He probably maybe he shows up and he goes, hey, listen, I always wanted to be involved in the wrestling business. He starts a company. He gets a couple guys to help him, with all the shit that he doesn't know. He knows money and that's it. And they help him out and he surrounds himself and he doesn't do any of the actual writing or any of that creative shit. Other people do that. And maybe he's smart enough to know that.
This is an interesting time to be a wrestling fan.
Not really.
Stone Cold Steve Austin is going to be at WrestleMania. Cody Rhodes is going to be filling bags at the fucking ShopRite.
So in the 90s, we found out that Stevie Richards from ECW fame and short time in WWE.
Yeah, he was in my English class.
He was in Jimmy's English class, but he was also working at, once again, Time Out up in the Chamonix Mall, which used to be Spaceport. So we just did two arcade references to the Chamonix Mall in one show.
Uh-huh.
That's the third time the Chamonix has been brought up.
Yep, third time the Chamonix has been brought up. And he said that if anybody goes up there and says anything to him, he's going to kick the shit out of him. So we were like,
I can't wait.
We're going.
Bring it.
Never went. We never went. There were like 8 of us. Let's go.
I was like, oh my God. If we get to beat up Stevie Richards, this is going to be amazing.
Well,
his name was Eugene, I believe.
The thing is do you think he would have been doing the wrestling punches? I'm fairly certain that wrestlers think that you actually fight like that because they don't know anything about the real world. So they don't know how to fight. You know what I mean? Like, like when Jericho was like, I stood up to a MMA champion before. Like, no, you just didn't get killed by him. That's how that happened with Brock Lesnar. Like, I'm sure he was probably like, Asha, kicking like, and fucking.
Stevie Richards is the one that absolutely crushed JBL over the head with the chair, right?
No, that was a Blue Meanie.
That was Blue Meanie.
Wasn't it?
No. Blue Meanie got crushed by
JBL.
By JBL. So
there was like
Stevie
some
Richards got revenge and crushed him over the head with one.
And Stevie Richards just hit him as hard as anybody's ever been hit with a steel chair.
Good man.
Northeast Philly guy. I'm glad.
Good man, because if you see that fucking video, whatever happened to Blue Meanie was fucking. If you ever watch, anybody out there listening and ever wants to see that, Google it. I don't know how it works, but Google Blue Meanie getting hit by JBL. I've never seen a human being busted up that bad in my life without being fucking unconscious. And I've hung out. I hung out with Brian, right? Brian Heffron, is that his name? Blue Meanie.
Yeah.
Brian, I've hung out with him on numerous occasions. I've fucking over the course of because he was friends with friends of mine. We all became friends. I can't see under any circumstances that anybody would fucking maim that dude like that. He's such a nice guy.
Yeah.
So I'm glad.
What the story he told, and this has made it into my personal lexicon of just random phrases that I will throw out, was that he got added last minute to a flight to fly to Raw, and they put him in first class. So even though he was the last man on the totem pole, so he sat in the seat. Now all of the vets walk by and were pissed. Undertaker's sitting in coach, and he's in first class. And but the phrase that's always stuck in my head is Mick Foley came on the plane and saw him sitting in the first row, and he just goes, "Oh, Meanie, no, Meanie, no." I'll just in my personal life now that I always go, "Oh, Meanie, no."
Well, here's the thing. Maybe he didn't fucking know.
They did.
Yeah, he's like, I don't.
Undertaker's, he's never sit in first class in his fucking life, and he got excited and he sat down. I'm sure he didn't mean to disrespect anybody. And when you have these things with these unwritten rules that you never tell anybody what they are, and then people break them and you beat them for it, it's not really the way to teach people shit.
Chris, you remember when we worked a wrestling show in the fucking YMCA, and then we gigged in chair shots, and then people were going to beat us up after, so we had to run away and get in the car and leave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we showed everybody up.
We showed everybody up. We were better
fucking mad because we killed the fucking show.
Yeah,
and they were all mad at us. And I remember getting cornered by some old wrestler. I guess he was an old indie guy,
right?
And he was like in a, like the fucking like fur collar human skin jacket,
the moon dogs.
Yeah. No. Like they're legit ones, like a rancher jacket. It's got the fur collar and I have the fur piping around here. He fucking corners me because there was a stage in there, and I was standing behind a curtain, and he corners me. He's like, "Oh, you look like a big guy, tough guy. You take a chop?" And I was like,
I remember.
I guess. And he started chopping me, and what was my reaction?
I guess.
Chesta, that's just Chesta.
Nothing. I was just like, "Okay, thank you."
Thank you, sir. Sorry.
Thank you, sir. Sorry I exist in your weird fucking world.
What do you say to me? What do you know? One guy was like, "Were you like no karate or something?" And I was like, "Yeah, something like that."
Because they had all these goofballs, and then you get two kids from Northeast fucking Philly. You ain't gonna take no shit from nobody.
Right out of fucking piss and vinegar, right out of high school, ready to fight everybody.
Were you guys a tag team?
No. I was a heel. Chris was a babyface.
I was the babyface that got a concussion from the heel.
Yeah, it was my fault. I ended up hitting him with a chair, but we weren't trained professionals, so I apologize. I'm sorry.
No way.
I think I apologized back before, but I'll apologize again. I'm sorry.
No, I don't give a shit. It led to all this.
That's how you know you've really found yourself in Loserville, is when people are getting mad at you for doing a good job.
Yes, exactly, and that's exactly how it went down. And like
after we started like bleeding and hit each other with chairs and trash cans and shit, the next match was like people were just going absolutely ape shit. They shut the show down.
Yeah, it was. We
were like, we need to get the fuck out of here. So we cut like a really quick promo on video and ran out. Hopped in my buddy's car.
It was the main event. Speaking of ECW and Stanley, the main event was Axel Rotten, Ian Rotten, whatever the Rotten that's still alive is, if any of them are. And Chad Austin, who was like the original jobber at ECW, because they would just have like, guys that lost, but nobody was really a jobber. He was the original jobber in ECW, and they were the main event. They were the big talent that came down. And
Ian Rotten.
Oh, they were so fucking Axel Rotten. They were so fucking mad. Everybody was, and they were just breaking shit. But their match was completely incoherent. They were just running through shit and busting up tables, and fucking show got shut down and we ran out.
Yeah, we had to leave. Chad Slavinsky from Red Bank, New Jersey. That's who.
Well, guess what? I wrestled on the show with you, and I was fucking better, and I had no training at all.
None at all. Didn't even know how to take a bump properly.
Nope.
We were just younger and better looking, I'm sure. There you go. There's our story of the week.
Something interesting.
Yep, better than AEW. Okay, let's get out of here then, guys.
Just cut that, move it to the front, and be a good show.
Yeah, that's the whole show. 20 minutes of a old wrestling story. All right. As I scroll to my notes, here we go. Thanks for joining us this week, and join us here every week at Wrestling is Hard. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at hard4wrestling. Hey, if you want to follow me on Instagram or on Twitter, what am I? At Jim Lorraine Bar. That's my Twitter handle. Brandon, you want people to follow you on Twitter or no?
Nah.
I don't really tweet often, but I tweet about wrestling only. Subscribe and follow. Tell your friends. And for Brandon and Chris, I'm Jim. We'll be back here next week. Check us out on YouTube. Wrestling is Hard Productions. Cool. Okay, bye.
Oh, meanie, no. That's so funny.